Well, it is finals night just before the beginning of the final session here in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Ray Taluki back with Tony Kozar.
How you doing?
It's great to be back, and it is almost over, Tony. A little bit of weight off your shoulders that we finished the Saturday morning session here at the Keystone Nationals. Congratulations. You
Thank you.
Put it on a trailer by itself.
In one piece.
There you go. A little tough ride for you, and probably not as good as you wanted, running one of the only small blocks in the four-wheel drive mod class.
It's a challenge. I mean, that's all I can say. It's a challenge, but it's a learning process.
Right.
This is second pull on the bigger tires, just trying to see what I could do, and this is the first pull in 3 years. I finally made it down the track without breaking down the track. So now I have a read on the track. Now next year we move on.
All right, back to talking about the track. Let's kind of touch on that before we go into the recap. The results from the Keystone Nationals about who's moving on to the finals tonight. Again, finals 6:30. You can buy it, watch it on pay-per-view. Head to the Keystone Nationals website. You can purchase tonight's finals for $20, and that starts at 6:30. Again, big thank you to Two Natural Blends and High Rev Technologies, bringing you all these recap shows here this week at the Keystone Nationals. So, your thoughts, track this morning compared to track last night?
They banged it out of the box for the 10th anniversary, I'll tell you. First night, I'm like, man, tight track.
Oh, yeah.
This track, I don't think anybody has been ready for. They're getting better.
Yes.
But it's awesome. Friday.
They did a great job.
Same thing. Consistency is the word for it.
Oh, yeah.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, consistent. Now, if they could do it for the final session, they got it in the bag. Don't change a thing. Keep this going.
You know, I have not seen more than one or two blue New Holland Forester team shirts walking around. So I got a feeling it's all hands on deck. Let's get it tore off. Let's get the water put to it. Let's get it rolled out. Then take our break and get ready for the finals.
Yeah, they're out there.
Oh, yeah, there's no doubt.
I talked to Jimmy Moritz, which is he's a helping hand on that track, and I got tires from him earlier. Well, he's like, well, you want to do this now? I'm trying to change tires on my truck.
Right.
We got to do this now because as soon as they're done, we got to tear this track open. So that's where they're at.
Flip it over, get it ready. Yeah, very dark brown today, which was great to see how well that was. Very dark. It stayed dark brown last night. It stayed dark brown throughout the day today, and you saw a lot of the mods, a couple of them with some problems that they just could not get. I think they, like you said, aired down too much with the expectation that it was going to be a harder track. The bite was there, and I think they kind of put themselves aback as they continue to go on throughout the day.
It was surprise. 10th year, it was surprise in that track, and I mean it's wonderful actually. I mean now we have we can do this. Now they've set a standpoint to everybody talking about this track.
Right.
We can build you a track now.
Yeah.
I mean, they put water in it and stick it in. I say one thing about water, they don't have much water on the sidelines.
No.
Did you see the smoke tube?
A little bit of dust created by the smoke tube.
Very small amount.
Yes.
Did you see what he did?
Is there big rubbers underneath each piece?
Culvert pipe. Plastic culvert pipe he took, and he ratchet strapped them to the bottom to save that $8,000 cost of wearing a tube out on the dirt.
Right,
Put
in the
these
middle.
little skids on there. Not only is it saving the tube, it's keeping it together, so we have no tube breakage, but the minimal dust on the side of the track.
Well, that's
as multi-purpose.
Keeping the wear down, no doubt about it. Well, we're going to kind of recap here. We appreciate the folks from the Keystone Nationals keeping us all up to date, and you can follow along with the results and where everything is going throughout today as we roll along here this afternoon. We're going to kind of touch on a quick class because we got him wandering over, and I know we're going to be able to get him on here with us this afternoon. We're going to go to the 8200 Limited Super Stock 8,500-pound Limited Pro. Top four moving on to the finals tonight. Kendall Beasley with the High Gear Harvester. Ron Beasley with the Farmall Fever. For your 1 and 2 spot, Kendall Hook with the Nothing Special. And James Van Hoy with the Shade Tree Smoker. Those are your top four moving on to the finals here tonight. Paul Hawk, Matt Durbin, Jeffrey Harrison, Thurman Munford, Randy Bicker, Jim Rand, and Brandon Bell. And a tough ride for Joe Raposa. Tried to get down the track, just couldn't make it. And Dustine Palmer as well. She had a great run with the Baby Deer Power. She did a great.
Problem. Don't feel bad.
She had a great ride. and that white line on the right side, same side that you took that right side.
I almost touched it too.
Sucked it right in, and she had no chance to get her to come back, and definitely chalked it up. Yep. Unfortunately, disqualification for her in that 8,200-pound limited super stock and 8,500-pound. Ready now? In that light pro class. So congratulations to them. The top 4 moving on to the finals tonight. And let's do another quick one here. 6,200-pound mod four-wheel drive. Eddie Zurek with the Thunder. Dean Hickok, grounds for divorce. Brian Cubbage, the after midnight. And Jim Walker moving up into the top 4. Unfortunately, our 2 picks not moving on. Rob Matthews with a little bit of a problem with some rear end issues. Tony Kozar with a respectable 210. Glenn Hickok with the Moonshine Express at 250. Glenn Hendrick with the Moonshine Express at 215. Dan Warner, Dale Woods, Eric Muxel, and Troy Nails not able to move on up into the class. We're going to take a quick second. We're going to bring our next guest on, and we'll be right back. So we're back. Sorry about that, everybody. We got the stream figured out. It's back on now.
Oh, we're back?
We're back. You're live. I don't know. It must be you because you didn't shave again today.
Yeah.
Well, your wife stopped feeding you. Your wife stopped feeding you. Well, what do you mean you got cold overnight? You got somebody to cuddle with. I figured you've been calling. Hey, you're used to the cold. You're in Buffalo.
It don't matter. When you
it snows.
70-degree day, you want it to stay like that.
Oh, I know.
You don't want it to go down
and we've had beautiful weather. We've had beautiful weather. So looking forward to the beginning of the season. You know, kind of. Is it going to be a full season with you with a whole new setup? Is it back to the drawing board, or do you have a few out there that, you know, like we were talking earlier, guys that, you know, again, you guys are sharing the notes with that have a little bit of knowledge that you can feed off of, so you're not going into the beginning of the year kind of, you know, almost blindfolded.
Yeah, and we do. I mean, like you said earlier, there's a group of us that work together, especially, you know, it seems to be just like any other sport. The John Deere guys stay together, the international guys stay together, but we got a group of guys we work with real good, you know, and Josh at Powerhouse is my key guy, but we're excited to look at the season. We've actually added a second tractor to our stable.
Really?
Yep, it was the old Turbodacious tractor. The Harris had some changes going on there in their life, and it was time to unload it, and it's a really nice tractor, really good deal. So we're excited about that. Kind of got some ideas we're going to do with it. I'm not sure how that's going to play out.
Okay.
We're looking to see what NTPA is going to do with this Region 2 as far as Light Pro. There's some discussion of splitting the region. That's going to play into what we do on points. Okay. You know,
well, they already do that for the underlay.
Right. Yeah.
So they might talk about splitting it totally
to have
now.
2 champions kind of thing.
Because there are, I mean, that's like the nucleus of light pro stock pulling right there.
Yeah, that high Indiana, especially the Greenville, that area. Yes. I mean, Clinton County and Greenville's there's just dominant number of tractors from there. And so me being on the east side of the state, we end up doing a lot of travel.
Right.
Which I enjoy, but, you know, it gets costly too. So we try to work with the guys as much as we can. We leave our hauler set on the west side of the state if we can. And the guys are great to work with in our class. I mean, we've used other people's shops, other people's trucks.
Right.
It's a great group of guys. So I'm excited for the season.
Oh, good to hear.
It's even like what you were talking about after the catastrophe last year, how many guys came out of the woodwork to help you out to get back. I mean, you had nothing in March, and then by, you know, what, July,
September we was on the track.
You were on the track. I mean, making your maiden voyage again with a brand new tractor, totally different learning curve for you again, because you found a lot of stuff on the other one that, we need to change this. And so, unfortunately, from what happened, you're in a much safer vehicle now. You know what I mean? So and it's
a huge amount of learning lessons there, Adam, and that's the one thing I've preached is all the safety required items worked on our tractor.
Right.
That could have been catastrophic if we hadn't contained the parts in here. And I don't think people realize how tore up that thing was inside.
Yeah.
I mean, virtually when we got it home and dropped the scatter blanket open, there was not a piece of the bell housing bigger than the end of my wrist. And I mean, that's a lot of pieces to have been flying.
Oh, it could have went everywhere.
That blanket kept it contained. The scatter shields kept it
all
contained.
within 2 seconds.
Yeah. And
I mean,
me sitting on a tractor, I knew I threw a piston out. But hey, lift me up, get me higher, let's get the show going, you know. And next thing I know, somebody's jumping up or saying, "You need to get your ass off the tractor. It's fixing to break in half."
Right.
You know,
so, it was definitely a tough afternoon for or tough evening for not only you but one other tractor too. So.
And if I can, leading to what Adam said there about people helping us, I got to share the story. Before we left this building that night, Tony Dibble, Binder Light Sheet Metal, called and said, "Hey, I seen what happened on the internet.
Yep.
You're going to need some sheet metal help. Let me know when you get home, And to shorten the story up, Tony built my sheet metal. I paid for the metal. He covered the cost of all the labor of building it.
Mm-hmm.
Parts diesel, fixed my split in half injection pump, no bill. Carled Atlas, my transmission, no bill. Said, hey, you had a catastrophic event. Here's our contribution. I mean, that made my heart feel good. I've been in Poland off and on all my life, just now to this level. But, when we complain about these guys, these suppliers, and the prices,
right?
They're trying to make a living too. They're not going to gouge you twice. You're not going to let that happen. But when something like an event like I had happens, them guys were the first ones stepping up to the plate.
Right.
They was ready to rebuild my tractor before I was. I can tell you that, boys.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a great group of people that we spend life with.
Oh yeah, and it's nice to know that. Not saying it's going to happen to everybody.
I don't want it to happen to anybody.
You don't want it to happen to anybody again. After seeing Sadoff's Good News tractor come apart in the Pro Stock class last year, and then yours, it was like, holy cow! It's just what else?
All in one night, and we're all like, all right, what's we're up there, and me and him are going back and forth, and the rest of the media are like, what do we do now? What else is going to happen? And it was kind of that, how do you prepare for this? And luckily, knock on wood, even the same thing with this year. It's been very limited to what we've seen. It's been them driveline failures that we've seen, some rear ends and stuff like that. But nothing as unfortunate as you guys last year. But I also noticed if you look at the pictures in the handout this year, the 10th anniversary handbook, there are more pictures of vehicles on the sand last year than there are so far of this year.
They tightened it down.
Yeah, I think it might be a little bit tougher.
I think the Mod Turbo class today and the Light Pro class today, they let them run just a touch more.
Yep.
You guys were building up a lot of ground speed.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, like you said, you just missed getting into the finals. But
we're happy though.
I mean, but your group. Like Kendall's in there, and then you got the Beasley. So I mean, those are guys you run with all year.
Yeah, I'm as happy as heck that they're
pretty damn cool.
Yep, it is. And one other thing about last year, I got to commend the people that put on this poll, the Forester group, the building people, because we had our hands full getting that thing out to the truck.
Yeah, I can imagine.
In one piece, and I mean, they let us back the truck up the door and helped us load and give us security here while we tore it apart.
Right.
In the pit entrance, and I just can't say enough about the people that run this show and the people that work it.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Great to hear. No, that's great to hear. Thank you so much for coming on tonight.
Appreciate it.
We'll be seeing you out there the rest of the season. By all means, we appreciate the support, and you stopping this morning like we were chit-chatting, and I was hoping the boys said they were going to try to get you over, so we do appreciate that.
Thank you, fellas, for what you're doing for pulling the sport. It's great what Polling Radio Network what you guys are doing.
Yeah.
We appreciate that. I mean, we're
Appreciate that.
trying to do something different, you know.
That's right.
Trying to. We're the first ones here to do it with Polling Radio Network, and we want to make you guys into the rock stars. So, you know, we all jumped on what the thought that he had a long time ago, and it's getting bigger and bigger. So, hopefully, you guys see that what we're doing is trying to promote you guys, and the main part is polling in general to get more fans in the stands, and because you guys are. Poll every poll. I mean, you guys are putting your hard-earned money out on the track, so this is the least we can do to help you guys out. So,
well, I appreciate it, and I know all the pollers I talk to do. So, thank you.
And
guys.
we see it when you're on the live every Tuesday night. We see it. Matt Durbin is watching.
Yeah,
so,
that's right.
We appreciate
that.
And
it's all it's all of them. And it's the pats on the back that and like we talked about this morning. And just getting that. Getting you guys out there, making it the household name that, hey, I've seen that guy pull, or hey, just like we said last night, sitting with the guys from the Bad Kitty team. This is where it's at. I mean, you can't get any closer to this sport than be able to come here like a Keystone and wander the pits like everybody else is doing today, and shake your hand and talk to you, and talk to your crew and see your tractor, and that's what it's about. You're not seeing that in any other motorsport, and it's right here you're seeing that. So.
I get such a kick. We end up going early since we're traveling so far to some of the summer events, and I've pulled into several places. Ada, Ohio is one that strikes my memory. It's kind of at a park, and we're there, and here's all these kids come over from the baseball field. And before it was over with, we had like 60 kids on the seat of my tractor. And I told my guy, I said, that's why I pull right there. I didn't get to do that when I was a kid, and if I can help, I'm all about that.
Absolutely. Well, guys, thanks again. We're going to take a quick break and get ready for our next segment.
All right. And what'd you do?
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Matt. I appreciate it.
Just appreciate what you
keep pushing the name. I mean, we appreciate it.
Make sure it's then I knows he had it. Yeah.
I'm going to head out for a little bit. Get ready to go again. Thank you. Good to go. I guess just leave all this stuff here. We'll come back and get it.
All right, we're back.
Back again.
We're going to recap it. What do you got?
Oh, let's see. Let's pick one here.
I got 10K Pro Farm from, 10K Pro Farm from this morning. Top four going on. They're going to be the recap this, Chad Nezelrot, Jeremy Belknap with a Nothing But Red, Brent Miller, the John Deere, and Ivan Hissong with the Limestone Binder. Now, they ran 3 sessions of 10Ks. And, again, bear with us, folks. We're trying to go through this. It's been a busy day trying to keep the stream going and everything up and running here. Hope everybody's been watching the pay-per-view. And, of course, you can buy tonight's finals. Head on over to the Keystone Nationals website, and you can purchase that there for $20 tonight and watch all the finals action on the World Wide Web. And, again, 3 runs of the 10K. I'm trying to find the other batches of 10,000 pound, and I know there's quite a few results that are missing, but we're trying to keep them all up to date. 9,300 pound supers Tyler Aldette with a purebred red, Merle Har with a devil dog from last night, Shane Matson with a thumpkin pumpkin, and Frank Payne in a pure luck moving on tonight. The other batch of 9,300-pound super farms was this morning. And if you bear with us, we'll get you that one. Yeah, there it is. Randy Forrest with the buck and binder moving on. Nick Audette, the Utter Obsession, that's the trailer mate of the purebred red. R.J. Dennison out of upstate New York with a red dog, and Frank Payne in the spare parts. Now, I think me and Adam have 1, 2, 3, 4 from both batches kind of covered into Super Farm. So it's great to see the kind of movement we got going there.
Tractor guys.
Well, sort of. Me as more of a Super Farm. Yeah. Let's kind of get into what we saw last night with the four-wheel drive mod class. Top 4 moving on. Aaron Smothers with the Money Hog. And, Dan Mayer kind of said Aaron Smothers, Mr. Keystone Nationals.
Yes.
Year after year after year, and you've seen it.
Yep.
The truck is there. He's got the setup. Is it luck?
Sometimes it can be. I wouldn't say all the time. Sometimes it can be. With Aaron, I can't say that much because he's disciplined. He's a consistent driver. The heck with the truck.
Right.
He does the same thing every time, and that's what it takes to get down that track, and that's what it takes to win this event. And unfortunately, I can't say it was consistency this time.
Right.
I mean, I just think he has years of experience. And being that it's a tight track, he does have the power. He's got the truck to put it down, and that truck, it works. It works for him. He knows what to do.
Oh, yeah. Now, Jimmy Moritz, another one, Unleashed.
Yep.
You mentioned him earlier. There's a number of years here, and knowing the track.
Yes. He knows the track well. That truck, he hasn't had for all that long.
Right.
He bought that off of, it was Hitchcock's truck, but I don't know if he bought off Hitchcock, in the past. But he went out there, and that track last night, it was bouncy. I mean, it didn't matter where you went in the track. For some reason, everybody had...
It was a little bit harder.
You had to drive that track.
It was packed in more, and that's kind of what we were seeing. We talked about this morning with several competitors that last night's track was hard.
Yes. And it more or less, it kind of dried up.
Right.
The moisture went away. So you had to learn how to drive the track. A lot of guys had a hard time. The ones that babied it, they weren't in the winner's circle. So you had to almost... In order to win that class, you had to hop a little bit, but keep it under control.
Right.
Jimmy, you got a little bit more, I think, than I would have let happen. I mean, he was just going for it, and she's in one piece, and he's going back out.
There you go. Kevin Ashire with a gone AWOL, and Wayne Tapscott with a Tasmanian Terror. 2 moving on, top 4 heading on, moving on up. A couple in that class, you did see hop really bad.
Oh, yeah.
Backed out of it, tried to get back into it, then just not happening.
Unfortunately, the Troy Nails Killing Time truck heaves. Their trucks are it's like an on and off switch. Some tracks they're smooth, other tracks they hop. Kevin Abshire is part of his crew, and they both have the same issue. They can't put their hands on it.
Can't find a way to get rid of that.
Yep.
Hop.
But now Kevin Abshire also, remember, he got the best of show this year for the 6200.
Correct.
He is over there.
Correct. So it's great to see. Yeah, don't forget, folks, there's also the Best of Show, and we'll be getting you pictures and updates on all that as well as they do each and every year here at the Keystone Nationals. Let's see, where are we going to head now?
I can't find it. I'm trying to find a diesel pickup. I can't find it.
Excuse me, folks. 8,500 pound, a mod turbo out of this morning's lineup. Nathan Graham with a Blue Reaper, Guy Gauchenor with the stress test, Jimmy Williams with Cadillac Red. One great run right there. Williams down the track, almost picture perfect. A little left the center, onto the sand pile, no problem. And, of course, my pick, Vern Zerby with a Z unit, moving himself in the top 4 and heading on into the finals tonight. And, again, big thanks to Matt Durbin coming over here tonight with the Signwider team, chatting with us, talking about the catastrophic issues that he had last year, and talking about his pull from this afternoon. Big thank you to him joining us here. And the final recap.
I relate to him, going back to Durbin. I can relate to him because we were talking before, and he came out, he made the final. I never made the finals, but now 2 years ago he made the finals. Had injector problems, staging, getting into he couldn't make he never hit the track at the finals.
Right.
My first year, I went down the track but had problems. So we both had problems that year. Last year, we had catastrophic problems.
Right.
Both of us did. Now this year, we're going down the track.
Right, both of us. See,
we went down it.
See, you talk about you have no connection with tractor guys.
Well,
see?
It's changing apparently. I'm excited.
You're figuring it out. 7,700-pound light limited turbos. Top 4 heading on to the finals. Matt Smith with the fast forward. Ben Flaherty Jr. with the smoking red. Matt Dersham with the other half, and Bradley Wassler Jr. with the whistling red. Kind of a pretty plain, not a lot of too much action there. A lot of guys picking that center start down to the left side, making their passes, just putting the distances on. So not a big change.
They're just
not a huge bit of excitement there.
It's
a little bit of
leader.
hopping, and that class seemed to be pretty much that was what it was.
Yeah.
Pick that line, stay with it, get into it, stay on top of it, and that's where they stayed. So maybe we'll see a little change. 8,000-pound diesels from last night. Let's see, Andrew Grove with the bad timing. Moving on, Jake.
Wait, that first place truck?
Yes.
Who picked that truck?
I think you did. Andrew Grove with the bad timing. Jake Slingloff with the empty pockets. Brandon Smoot with the Dirty Deeds, who was with us here this past week. Big thank you to him for joining us, and good luck to him tonight. And Bill Browser, Built to Destroy. The Built to Destroy truck, I tell you, a little different sound than any other one out there. Must be some big, thick cam in that baby.
I don't know what is in that truck, but what was different from that truck from the rest of the trucks?
I tell you, the turbo, when he backed up, shorter? Now, was that a standard cab long box?
It was just standard cab long box.
Cab,
Everybody
long
else,
box.
they allow,
long
I don't know all the rules, but they are allowed a certain wheelbase because of extended cab crew cab.
Right.
So like Smoot changed his truck, put a 10-foot bed on a standard cab truck.
Correct.
Makes the wheelbase. That is the most amazing run I've ever seen out of a standard wheelbase truck.
Now you're going to compare that to the show off of Greg Graham with that extra long 40-foot Peterbilt.
I missed that one. I got there with the short truck, but that long one, I mean,
just able to get it inside.
I don't know how they did
it. And there he is again. Just able to get it in the arena, and they're going to be running them semis again tonight.
I can't believe he made it down the spine.
They made it all the way. They backed it in very carefully. Was the comments made? So.
I'll take a picture of it if you haven't. The exhaust on that truck, if it's still in here, I got to see if it's still here.
Yeah, it's still inside.
I'm going to take a picture of that. I'll post it up. You don't see it at first till you look. It's pretty cool. What they did on those stacks.
They did a great job, and I see there is one more.
I don't mean the exhaust they used to pull. The stacks on the side of the truck. Did you see them?
Look at that.
Take a peek at them. I'll post it.
So we'll have to get them pictures up. We see there is one more semi-truck that arrived late last night.
Yep.
I believe that is the Antrim, one of the Antrim trucks, if I'm positive.
Yes.
Again, don't quote me. We're going to have to check on that. And we may be sneak peeking the semi-portion of the Keystone Nationals. Wink, wink, ladies and gentlemen. So stay tuned for that at 6:30. So, but to get more, you gotta help us out. So we're gonna give a little sneak peek of what they can get on the pay-per-view. Looking forward tonight at the Keystone Nationals pull. Kind of touching on recap of what we've seen this past week before we get ready to close it out. Of course, they're going to get kicked off at 6:30. We still got a lot of work to do here on the backside and help our teams and our guys get ready for this afternoon. Kind of last thoughts, you being closer to you home, you being a puller, you here in the pits all week. Kind of what's your overall take on what you've seen, Tony Kozar?
Just this year?
Just
we'll
this
keep it
year.
simple. I mean, it's buzzing. I mean, the people, the stands, the fans, the spectators that are in the stands. I mean, they're selling out. I mean, they're drawing them in.
There is no reserve seats left. General admission only, and I'm told there's very few of that.
Yes, I mean they are packing the house. I mean, it is going to be loaded tonight. I mean, the energy in this place. Every year it's good. This year, I think the 10th anniversary thing might be in my head too. I don't know, but the energy is uplifting. Everybody has been cool. They're just. It's turned into. I feel it's finally turned into a family atmosphere. It's always been, but it's so tight this year.
Right.
And I mean, it's great. I can't. You kind of put me on the spot. I can't find the words.
Well, that's good. I'm glad I finally made you speechless. Well, hopefully on Tuesday night show you'll be able to give a little more into it. That'll give you a good 24, 48 hours to kind of absorb it.
Heart's still going after the run. I mean,
of course, absolutely.
I'm trying to contain myself.
Well, that's great to hear. But as you said, more families. I've seen more kids, more younger adults, more teenagers, more people walking around. A lot of conversations going on. People, groups of guys, groups of individuals here, standing and talking and chatting. We're next to Dion Bliss from Champion Apparel and Red Hoss Supply. Showing off the Champion pulling wear and their wares as well here. And he's got the Crash and Smash video. People are looking at the T-shirts. They're picking up their favorite pullers, wearables. And just the people just going around and looking at stuff and, visiting with the pullers like we talked about, like Matt Durbin, Brandon Smoo, realizing that, hey, that's the vehicle I cheer for. This is the driver. This is the owner. This is his crew. And, that's where we're going with this. And that's what I find very unique when we come to these indoor pulls. I had a friend of mine was, well, maybe indoor pulls to me, you lose that, that diesel soot in the air and a little bit of dust.
The visual's not there.
The visual's not there, or that dampness on a midsummer evening. That makes outdoor pulling appealing to many of us.
Yes.
And I said,
but what do you do in the wintertime?
And I said this. I said, it's a different atmosphere in an indoor pull, and people who have never been to one, yes, we're proud to stream it and be a part of that and be able to put it out.
Find
to the
one,
masses.
go to one.
You need to go to one. Whether it's the Gordyville, it's Keystone, it's the Southern Invitational, Kentucky Invitational, Louisville. Like we said here, a lot of the Northeasterners, you can make the 5 or 6 or 8 hour trip here. Take the time, take the day, take 2 days. If you're a true fan, come and experience it. It is something that is different.
And I think the popularity is growing.
I do as well.
And
I do as well.
Not only speaking for PRN and many others out there, where a lot of our mission with anybody who's doing what we're doing is to make the sport grow.
Oh, absolutely.
And me being deeper into it now, not only as a competitor, I notice year to year, and I notice different things where not the interest in the sport as a spectator and also a competitor is growing.
Right.
I mean, people are not just watching the event, they're digging into it. How does this work? How does that work? I'm getting so many questions from people, and I don't mind. By all means, anybody has a question, I'll do my best to answer it, whether it's vehicle related or if it's just general how the sled operates.
Right.
They're trying to grab an understanding. Right there, that's an interest.
They're looking for they're looking for the entertainment value. Long conversation with a gentleman, Dick Morgan from Pulloff.com. Jake and Dick here today. They have a great forum. We're proud to be a part of it and help promote it and support it. And me and him got into a nice, I think, a real nuts and bolts conversation late evening last night about in between sessions of classes about the entertainment value that the pulling world has, but still lacks.
Yes.
And I think we're getting to that point. We're not all the way. And if we ever become all the way, I don't think it'll ever happen because the sport evolves. Yep. Every sport evolves. Yes. And I think pulling has evolved with technology, social media, the internet, but the technology, and I'm talking technology above and beyond the mechanics of the vehicle.
Oh, yes.
And I think we're going to see that more and more as we develop years go on.
Remember how it used to be when TNT had it on mine air? I mean, they incorporated a lot of stuff in their event, monster truck, mud bog, so forth, so on.
Right.
But we're growing to that again. More and more of these bigger pulls indoor. I mean, Cloverdale picking up with the NTPA there.
Oh, yeah. A full-size track.
That is huge.
A full 320-foot track.
Indoor.
Oh, yeah,
where do you get that?
You could
Cloverdale.
Right, exactly. And that building is big enough.
Yes.
I mean, I think in the pit arena, we could probably do a 300-foot track in here.
Can we?
I will have to measure it, but I bet you this is all of 300 feet inside.
Yep.
The facility here, is massive. And it's great that we have the opportunity to come here in the Northeast and have this. But back to the entertainment value, I think we're
going to get
growing
there.
that. We're getting to that point, and it's taking everybody, the fans, the promoters, everybody as a whole. Who, again, when we say fans, we're talking about true fans. People have been around a number of years to help create new true fans. Bring a friend to a pull. Explain it to somebody.
The younger generation seems to be coming in.
Oh, yeah.
Finally.
They're getting involved.
And it's like they want it. I had a guy, one of my buddies, Jacob Wagner. I think he's watching. Maybe he's talking to me. I try to help him. Now, I'm not saying I'm king of knowledge of pulling, but he's got a gas truck and he's got his diesel daily driver. He bounces back and forth, but he goes back and he's interested in it. He's trying to make stuff happen. So now you have a competitor. So now his friends might not want to be a competitor. Now you have a spectator. You have somebody that's coming along. So we bounce off of one, just like me and you are bouncing off each other now. It's the same world.
Right.
And, I mean, I'm seeing the growth. I'm seeing different.
Oh, yeah.
For lack of better words, I don't want to say breeds, but people from different walks of life, where you have, just different views on stuff. Where you have, somebody who's in more of a city life, we have more of a country life. This is more country, but you see some of the city atmosphere coming in where they want it. They want to learn more. Where it's like a melting. It's starting to become a melting pot. For lack of, I can't spit it out. I don't know why.
No,
but that's what it's turning into being.
No,
yes.
I understand where you're coming from.
Yep.
But as we head to the top of the hour and get ready to close everything out here tonight, I think we're getting to that point. The sport is never going to go away. It's always going to be here. The growth and development is always going to be here. We need to continue this.
Yep.
So, people that can't be here tonight, going by the pay-per-view, if you're interested, you're a fan, you want to see what's going on, that's
just the finals.
Help support it. Just the finals.
Get a taste.
Just to see and say, okay, next year we're making the trip.
Yep.
Next March 2018, we're gonna make the trip to Keystone.
I mean, this is my stomping grounds, more or less. I'm local to this, but it is just a fun event. Just learn it for yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
Oh, yeah. No doubt, no doubt. We just want to take a quick second and thank our sponsors here with us this weekend. Big thank you to 2 Natural Blends. We appreciate them jumping on board. Great tasting water. It's got the fruit in it. It's got everything right in it. It's refreshing. Take it with you on the go. Of course, our friends at 2 Natural Blends. And, of course, High Rev Technologies. Josh Mobley, great guy. We appreciate everything he's done here with the Poland Radio Network for a number of years. A great supporter here. High Rev Technologies. Tony Kozar, it has been a blast all week with you. We've ramped it. We've done it. We've spent more time side by side here than I think I do even with Adam sometimes. And I've been very happy to work with you here. You're great at what you do, and I'm glad to have you a part of the
kept it normal. I was going to go off the deep end because it's Keystone.
You're going to give me 110? You gave me 80? Is that what it is?
Maybe. I don't think anybody really wants 100 because 100 gets dumb.
Well, we don't want that.
I figured this year, like I said, I couldn't find a chicken hat, so that kind of like, now I got to be normal.
So we'll figure it out. We'll get it ramped up coming next year. But big thank you to all our help here, all the entire team. Adam Drott, his crew with Mad Pulling Picks, trackside with Katie Johnson. They're here with us. Big thank you to Tyler Delaney, helping us out with all the behind-the-scenes stuff. So much more going on. Be sure to buy the pay-per-view tonight, Keystone Nationals. Check it out right there on the web. For everybody here at the Poland Radio Network, I'm Ray Taluki. Thank you all, and we'll see you on the track.